I have two things that have been working for us that I think are really cool to report on that I literally didn't look at for a month because I wanted to get some time on it. But we, about a month ago, during we decided over a week we were going to like totally disassemble our ad account and put it back together again using all Facebook shops, so website and shops, and rebuilt our shop to make it a little bit more navigable, like leaning hard into that. And then relaunched a bunch of ads that have been really good performers for us for the past, year or so, and have been directing to shops and website. And now it took a month, but we're at like 13% of our sales are driving through Facebook shops right now. And it's only been 3.5 weeks, almost a month. So over the past 3 weeks, and it happened almost immediately, like the next day, like a couple of my fulfillment team members were like, what the hell happened? Like, I didn't even warn them. I was just going to see what they said. And I was like, oh my God, it worked almost immediately, but it's really been incremental over time that I'm seeing an increase in it every day. One thing that I was like worried about too, at the same time, is like, we're trying to get completely rid of interest groups. So we have 3 different campaigns. We have ASC, broad, and then we have some interest targeting. And we're like probably 50-50 split on broad and interest. And then maybe with the math does not add up, 30-30, no, whatever. We're using the least on the ASC and the other 2 are about a split. So we've been slowly pulling away from the interest based and putting that into broad as well. We're just kind of trying to read the writing on the wall, and like, we're playing by Facebook's rules. Like, I always think about it like Amazon like started somewhere, and the people who adapted their rules really early benefited because, you please the Amazon gods. And I think like Facebook and Facebook shops is really going to be something that starts to, as he's realizing how much money he's going to make off this, I think it's slowly going to become more and more important. And of course, for us as brand side people, that's good for us because they're getting all the data on who's shopping, who's clicking. It's all staying with them. So it really benefits both of us, even though eventually they're probably going to take a percent. But for right now, especially, it's like really easy to lean into that. So we've seen both a performance uptick because we're taking away those interest dollars and putting them into broad. And then we're directing all of that traffic through shop and website. And we've seen 13% over the last month, 3.5 weeks, something like that. 13% of our sales now going through Facebook shop. And that includes like what goes through our website and what goes through our app. And 13% is now through Facebook shop. So I'm kind of blown away by that number. I just checked before I got on this call. And I think it's really cool. So it's worth looking into. It's worth like telling people about, because I think if you start doing it now, you're going to see it trend towards like, they're going to start really like, I think, giving preferential treatment to people who are shopping through shops.
The shop thing is just this up and down. And I feel you never know, but if it's something that even works slightly, I do think that it's going to increase in usefulness, especially going into Q4.
And I think people are hesitant and they're like, well, our products don't work for that. And I'm like, well, you better make it. Like, you can find ways to really work with the shop. You just have to give it the time and effort that it takes. Cause we too have like a complicated top of funnel. We have like this device that we sell and it comes with a free tea. And I was like, we're going to have to like just make that a SKU. It's going to have to be, here's the device and the free tea is the optionality. It's like a variant. And we just put it right on the shop. So the girl, one of my marketing peeps, was like, well, now anybody can find it. I'm like, well, you have to make it so that they're only going to want to buy it once. They're not going to need that device every time. So if they buy it and they find it in the shop, oh, good for you. You didn't even maybe stumble into our ad, but it's there. The offer is sitting there. And that's like a little bit, like maybe you shouldn't do that type of stuff, but we did it and it's working really well. So I think people are like hesitant, like, oh, that's not going to work for us. And I think also a lot of conflation is happening with ASC and Facebook shops. It's almost like people are confusing the two. And it's like, they're not the same. It's not the same situation. Like, and I think these 2 new things came along at the same time. And I think ASC is fine. It's not my favorite thing on earth. I do think it's a retargeting campaign, but the shops is where it's at. And you have to think like, he's going to make so much money off that like, see a metaverse. Like, I think it's going to be Facebook shops.
So you're having it choose between shops and Facebook. You're just saying, or website, you're saying choose whichever one works.
Website and shops. And it's giving like, if 13% of my sales went to shops already in 3 weeks, I'm going to keep track of it. but I
Right.
can't imagine what it's going to be by Q4. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah. We had a whole bunch of stuff run. We had a client that got a massive test to do it, which I'm sure many of you probably got a bunch of money to do this, and to do the optional shops or website testing early on, and it went really well. So we kept it running, and then actually it like stopped. Performance had gone down, so we stopped it, and then we went back up again, and now we're sort of hitting this like summer plateau. It depends. So I really think that based on, so there's a couple things that you guys don't know about. One is I'm trying to negotiate now with Meta for having me to interview a whole bunch of like Yoni, Levy, and others at Meta talking about what this roadmap even looks like. But it's clear based on what happened at the Performance Marketing Summit that they're going to have AI changing colors, on the background of images. The catalog's going to be a big part of it. They're going to be making ad units out of, ad variants out of copy and videos and combining them in ways that we don't really know to make the person that's going to, to show the ad in a way to the person individually that they think will convert based on what they've seen before. And each, we know this is coming. So in combination with shops, it makes complete sense of why that would be part of the mix. So to hear that validated again, which is the first story I've heard in a while, to be honest, is good. So we just had another big test that ran too. That was a shops test with a client, and it was like a 1.5 ROAS, nothing magical. But it was about shop variants. So that's smart that you did that, Jenny Lynn. So kudos to you.